Yeah, I wasn't recording. Oh well. Sorry. But either way, I will make another video kind of going over that, and I'll keep it really, really short. So I think it maybe stopped recording when I switched over to my tablet. I'm not sure why, but that's okay. We'll figure it out. So.
Jenny, it still says it's recording on my end.
Well, you might be my hero because I really don't want to record that. So I really hope it was. We'll find out when I check my Zoom office, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's up in the corner. It says it's recording, so I think it will be good.
Hey, did it say recording before now or no?
I just looked up there. What, you just hit record?
Yeah, I did just hit record again. I was like, uh-oh. So.
No, I don't know.
That's okay, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It just popped back on, yeah.
But hey, was it on before now, or do you know?
No, it wasn't on, and then now when you clicked it back on, I seen it pop back up.
Okay, well, it looks like my tablet kicked it off, huh? Okay, well, I'll do another one then. It'll be kind of the same thing. And I will, hey, Brandon, I'm going to send you the updated copy of that. I had to fix some algorithms and see if maybe you can send me send it directly to me so I can add it to the notification channel and the Google Drive. Pretty, please.
Okay, I got you.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, hey, Fancy, let me start with you. We are currently on Euro AUD, right? So,
yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. I can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just trying to see. I know it's like late in the evening, but on that same one, is it too late to get in? Like, I see it's going. It started at another set of what do you call the dots? I don't want to keep calling them dots.
Let's call them SuperEZ SR. There's so many different names, yeah. So, and it's not gonna let me pull it.
Okay, so I see that it's started a new set. So will I be able to get in based off of those sets? Because that's like.
Because I worked with you personally. Oh, go ahead.
And on the daily, not the 15 or nothing like that. I want to do the daily.
Okay, so on the daily, why wouldn't we want this pair on the daily?
Why wouldn't we want it?
Why?
Is it because it done already started the trend?
Nope. Look on my chart real quick and tell me what's just ugly. Tell me what's really ugly.
The spike.
What's really ugly?
Spike.
See this wick right here? Like, so if I was only going on the daily, like.
Was that news?
Yeah, but I'm willing to bet that was news because somebody probably just lost their mind.
You know what I really thought that was? The line just, in your thing, just like because I be getting these lines in mine. That's what I thought it was. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. So if I was only going off the daily, I would never take this. And so even myself, like I've made that mistake. I'm human like everybody else. But this is not a good entry according to the daily.
Okay.
I mean, sure, you can take this arrow and say, okay, we're trending down. But according to the daily, here's why I wouldn't take this. Ready? And I can actually annotate. There we go. I'm going to draw pretty stuff, maybe. Okay. So number one, what do we have? What color is?
You said what colors?
Our money tree string. Yeah, what color is this money tree string?
Where you at? It is purple.
What color is this? It's green still. It's still saying buy, right?
Green. I'm sorry. I couldn't really see my chart. I'm on my phone.
No, it's okay. And then we also have our support and resistance saying what?
And it's green and it's going up.
And it's green. Okay, we also, price is above or below the?
Price is
above the 50, right?
Right.
We also have our two arrows pointing.
Going up.
And well, this is nice. So this is usually this is gonna line up. But we do have a few confirmations. So I'm gonna put I wonder if I can put a smiley face. I'm gonna make a heart. There we go. Let's make a heart. We got a heart here and a heart here. So these two look good, right?
Right.
And this looks good. So these look good, but this doesn't. Like, so according to the daily, like only trusting the daily, this is not ready yet, right?
Okay.
And that's
Right.
okay. So, but when we see a setup like this on the daily, the awesome part is we can click down to the 4 hour, and this goes with any time frame. So on this one here, I'll stick with my little hearts because that's fun.
Okay.
We gotta have some fun, guys. So what do we have? We have, this is gonna be fun. Got a big arrow, right? We've got triple arrows. That's one indication, right? And we all have more triple arrows over here that are pointing down, right? We also have our money tree string line that is purple. Price broke below the 50. So there you go. This is saying sell. And of course, momentum is going up. That's awesome. We have a crossover. Okay, another crossover. And now we even have the price breaking through, which is awesome. And our volume is going down, right? So like this is saying an awful lot, right? Do you see all that love on the chart? Fancy. Did I lose you, Fancy?
Hear me?
Oh, there you are. Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, cool. But so this is all saying it's going down, right?
Right.
However, comma, so I'm going to clear all my love off the charts. I didn't even bother to count it up because you guys can see with your eyes it's a lot. Uh-oh, I'm still drawing hearts. Hold on. Clear all, and I'm going to close that. So now let's get bigger. Yeah, we have some support, and we have the dots kind of appearing, right? But in terms of your personal situation, if you're willing, you can do a few things here, okay?
Okay.
And do you have a pen and paper?
Did you say, do I got pen and paper?
Yep. You guys, I'm going to mute everybody real quick, and then if you're not Fancy, keep your line muted. Fancy, go ahead and unmute yourself. Angela, mute yourself. I think that's right.
It is yet. What is that? That's a blazer? It's a Chevy blazer?
All right, Fancy, I'm looking for your name. Hold on. Is your name your real name on here or no? All right, Fancy, go ahead and unmute yourself. Girl, are you there?
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
Jenny?
Yep, I wanted to mute everybody
Okay, I'm
first.
sorry. I had to switch to my phone.
You're good. Okay, so on this right here, again, because I know your schedule, and I know you're like a beast, working like a bajillion hours and stuff, right?
Uh-huh.
To give you a solution for your current problem, here's some options you have, okay? None of them are foolproof. They're all personal choice, right?
Okay.
So I'm gonna go back to this, crosshairs, if it will let me with this lag. So you can enter in here and just be prepared for a bigger drawdown. So if you're willing to take a drawdown of, let's say 70 pips, okay, 130 pips, you can enter in here, okay? That's option number one.
Okay.
Because you see these support and resistance dots, there's a really good chance that you're gonna have a pullback. No guarantees, nothing's written in stone. Again, I didn't make the industry, and I definitely don't decide price. Personally, what I would do, because I don't like that stop loss, is I would do one of a few things. So my first option would be this previous engulfing candle, right? I would set a sell limit for right here, okay? And that, it only tightens it up a bit, but it's enough for me mentally and emotionally. So again, I just cut my stop loss by 20 or 30 pips. Or if I did a stop loss again, I cut it by 20 or 30 pips. So when you see these engulfing candles, price typically retraces to about 50% of them. 50% of it, okay? So even on this engulfing bullish candle, price came down to about 50%. And it almost always happens. So This is that big engulfing candle. Price did come down before it went up, right?
Right.
So if you had a take profit in this one, I mean, that's 60, 70 pips, not bad, right?
Right.
So that's option number one, is to set a limit order, write that down, a limit order, which is a pending order at 50% of the previous engulfing candle. So that's option number one.
Okay.
Well, technically option number one was enter and take the bigger risk, right?
Right.
Option number two is set a limit order at 50% of the previous engulfing candle. And so take a moment like this, okay? Price did retrace 100%, okay, of this candle. So this is your engulfing candle. By putting your order here, your drawdown wouldn't have been as much as if you had entered here, right?
Right.
And most of the time this works. So this one, if you tried to sell here, although you would not because there's no lines, this one, let's use this one. This one would not have worked. Your order would not have activated, which is going to happen sometimes in real life. But again, it kind of is a slightly safer entry. Capiche? Or does that make sense to you? Sorry, I say that to my children. So that's option number one, is to take the bigger risk. Option number two, set a limit order, so a sell limit if you're selling or a buy limit if you're buying, at 50% of the previous engulfing candle. Okay. Option number three is, again, I don't prefer this one, although a lot of people have a lot of success with it. It's just not my thing. It's working really good on GJ right now, though, let me tell you that. This is what we would call like a sell stop. So option number three is to put a stop order. So at below where current price is. So you want price to finish whatever its retracement is and then drop. So when price does break this resistance, you want to sell it, right? I'm not sure if you're kind of coming in and out, but this is a very well-known strategy. So you've got resistance here kind of starting to form, and even one over here. So when price does break this, you're waiting for it to sell. And again, this kind of makes your stop loss a little bigger, but it's also a lot more of a confirmed move, if you will. So that's your third option. The last option would be when price breaks the 50 EMA, typically it does retest it. So put a limit order somewhere below where you think the 50 is going, which is, here. Allow it to retest the 50 and then drop. I'm not sure if you're still there, but those are kind of your options in terms of your limited schedule. I hope that helps.
I'm still here, Jenny. For some reason, my phone keeps muting in and out.
No, it's okay. I just want to make sure you could hear it. Yeah, you have some options even for your crazy schedule. Some of them are better than others, but at the end of the day, you have to decide if you want the more confirmed move with a bigger stop, you want the safer move that you might miss, and you have to decide your trading schedule, your trading style. And there's no wrong answer, believe it or not. There's a right answer for you, though. So, but those are some options. And this is the sell I am in. I do intend on holding unless something major happens. You can see that Euro is kind of gaining strength a little bit. And odd is still getting stronger. Odd did a nice retracement in terms of currency strength as an individual. But as you saw, Pat is selling actually the odd, whatever 200 odd, I believe it's called. So he's selling that. So odd will get weaker. Odd will get weaker, but right now it's kind of just stalling out. And that kind of happens in price. I mean, this is the market, so it's pretty normal.
Okay.
But you got a good indication here. I mean, I would expect price to kind of come back up somewhere around here before it drops. So you can maybe wait. And these are 4-hour candles. So if you have like literally minutes in the morning and you get, if you get efficient, and clearly, girl, you are massively efficient just judging by your schedule. If you get efficient at just flipping through these, because you're swing trading, use a lesser amount of risk per pair.
Okay.
This way you can be in 4 to 5 pairs at a time. don't risk more than 5%. So you can take one entry that has a 3% risk, one entry that has a 2% risk. Let your bigger one close out. So let your bigger one close out like at the average daily range, and then let your runner run. But again, we always move our stop into profit, at least if you're asking for my trading advice.
Okay. Alrighty.
I hope that helped, though.
Yes, it helped a lot. Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Hi, Jenny.
Hey, Don, how's it going?
Oh, good. Can you take a look at pound USD?
Man, these pound pairs, you guys. Why are we even talking about these? No. Oh, wait, I put on GJ. I think I decided I don't even like GJ. I don't think I am ever going to like GJ again. Ever, ever. Let's take a look. You guys see where GBP is, right? GBP is weak right now. Very weak.
Oh, and why are you mentioning that? Where is that currency strength meter? Is that in the files?
I can add that to the files. This is a free indicator. This is very momentary, so kind of use it with a grain of salt. We're looking at a 4-hour time frame, and this moves by the second. Okay, so you need to kind of bear that in mind. But either way, this is saying GBP is very, very weak at the second, right?
Yes.
But so looking on the 4-hour, what do you see?
I'm in that trade now, but I have my stop just below the yellow arrow, or just below those support and resistance dots on the 4-hour.
Which one? What's your stop loss?
My stop loss. Let me read it right quick. It's 1.26327.
Close enough.
Just below that yellow arrow.
Okay. So what made you buy this?
The triple arrows on the 4-hour and the triple arrows on the 1-hour.
Okay. So on the 1-hour, what do we see? I can draw my hearts again, but this is a go, right? But only using this crossover is the same thing as trying to go with overbought, oversold. Nothing is written in stone, right?
Right.
And then we have a crossover on the ADX, which is great, and momentum is going up. And it made its move. The money tree string line was green, but where did you enter it?
Oh, I entered at 1.266112.
Today?
Yes.
So that would have been here. So right here where you entered this trade,
Uh-huh.
was it ready?
No. On the 15-minute it was.
Guys, I do not use the 15-minute trade for this strategy. Like, I don't. I wish I had better advice. And yeah, you guys can. You guys are allowed to do your own way. And if you're successful with it, you should totally do it. But for me, the problem with the 15-minute is ready. This is, well, why didn't you get out? Did you have a trailing stop in?
No.
So if you got in here, you do have some good confirmations. I mean, this wasn't ready yet. It would have been ready here. Momentum would have been ready like here. Okay. But either way, you didn't even get your triple arrows till over here, right?
Right. That's the other thing. They were kind of spread out. Is it better for them to be tighter?
In a perfect world, yes, but let's be honest, it's not a perfect world. So, I mean, this looks really pretty, but that doesn't always happen. But when it does, you can see that nice move, right?
Right.
These choppy arrows indicate choppiness in the market. So you have to decide, like, at the end of the day, Pat and I think would both agree that, let's move Zoom bar thing. There we go. So let's go back. Like the double arrows, because I'm sure it's the same direction as the big arrow overall. We have a break, support and resistance. And this would have worked. I mean, a lot of these would work, but it's a matter of how many pips. So the problem is you entered on the 15-minute chart, but what do you see this pair did? This pair broke a previous low.
Yes.
When pairs break a previous low, so we're back on the 4 hour now. I'm going to try to zoom out. Okay. And this is really choppy. It's some traders would call this a squeeze. Somebody might call it a flag that I can't see. But either way, here's what we have. It broke this low, correct? See these support and resistance lines? It broke that low once, right? Which indicates it is not ready to go up yet. And then it went back and it broke this low. Do you see that? Price broke this low and this low. So is price making higher highs and lower and higher lows or no?
No.
So this market is still doing what?
It's consolidating.
This is a downtrending market.
From Nigeria to Njofuri.
Watch this. This is my there's somebody Cornelia, sweetheart, I can hear you.
You know, Ibo.
Cornelia. Girl,
I'm sorry.
You're talking. You got to mute your line if you're not stepping up. There we go.
Hello,
Sorry
Jenny.
about that. Hey, Isaac. How's it going?
I have a question.
Yes, sir. Can I finish up on this gentleman? Who was the guy just talking real quick? I'll get to you in just a second. Who was I just talking to? Don, right?
Yes.
So right now I have no arrows on my chart. This is just the stair step, right?
Right.
Very, very simple. If we look at this chart very simplistically, what is this pair doing right now?
It's going down.
This is a downtrend. And what will finally tell us that it's going up?
Higher lows and higher highs.
So at the end of the day, guys, we're still trading. It doesn't matter how many beautiful indicators we put on the chart. We are at the market's mercy. So what I see is the price, and I use the 1 hour to decide my trend. Not nearly as accurate as the 4 hour, but it works for me. It makes me happy. So let's see. Right now, price tried to break above the 50, but it rejected. It did break above the 50, but if you had gotten in, you would have closed with enough pips. But either way, we are failing to make higher highs. We are failing. These are nice little retracements, but we're still making lower lows. Are you seeing that?
Yes, I am now.
This is going to turn around. It's just not ready yet. And trust me, I want to be ready more than anybody. My largest account is tied up on GJ and like a dummy, and I know better, especially as a long-term trader, but I held this awful trade. So I legit have been hedging all the way down. Don't even ask the stupidity that I am totally guilty of there. But I want these to turn around more than anybody. I assure you, they are simply not ready. GJ either. So take a look. GBP is just, it's still really, really weak. So GBP just broke this previous low, and this tried to make support and resistance. It broke that, and now it's breaking another low. So until we see higher highs, okay, until you have all of your confirmations lined up, you should not be taking this trade. Does that make sense?
Yes. So when you take a trade, you check the 4 hour and you confirm with the 1 hour.
Yeah, I mean, for most of the strategies I've used in terms of the triple arrow system or even the stair step, as Pat calls it, I primarily look at the 4 hour and the 1 hour. I enter in on the 1 hour. Because
Okay.
with the 15, unless I'm trying to scalp, that just confuses me. Like, we're all human and our brains can only absorb so much. So right here, this looks ready. And we have enough confirmations. But if we're going to count them, we need to count them. So we have 1, 2, right? We would have waited till volume to be pointing up, okay? Which, as you notice, most of this, the actual trends changes all happen when price breaks above the
That 50 moving average.
50.
So I don't have that on my chart, but I'm going to add it.
And that's just something that I do. So this would have been 80 pips. If you were going for half of the daily range, as an example, you would have gotten out very safely. If you would have used a different strategy that I taught in the group, which is that 22, 44, 77, and a runner, every one of those would have closed in profit, and you probably would have made about 230 pips because of the way it retraced. on this one move. And now anything past this move, if I had checked the charts here, I would not have seen it's ready. If I check the charts here, it is still not ready, right?
Right.
Just look around. You've got your MACD pointing down. You've got your momentum pointing down. You've got no clear reason. You're missing arrows over here. Your money tree string is not turning green. You're not above the 50. And now we even have more sell support. There's just too much over here that says, hey, and right here is the biggest factor. It broke that support. And the fact that it broke that support tells me I don't want to play. I don't want to touch that.
Hey, Jenny. If you look at the daily chart on GU, it looks like a head and shoulders. I mean, I don't know. Look
Let's
at it
take a
real
look.
quick.
This?
Yeah, it's like a head and shoulders right there. I don't know if it's going to go all the way down to the bottom.
Well, if this is a head and shoulders, which technically it could be, this would be the neckline, and that means it already made its move. So
Back there, farther back, it would be the one shoulder right there at the beginning of your screen there. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
okay, so check this out. Ready? Shoulder, head, shoulder, and it could reverse, like an inverse.
No, look at the very bottom would be the head right down there at the bottom. If you look back.
Wait a minute. I'm on the day. I'm on the weekly. So.
Oh yeah, I was looking at the daily.
Well, check this out. The funny thing about the market is we see what we want to see. And once our eyes are biased, it's really hard to see anything else. Right? Because we're still human beings.
Oh yeah, I agree with you. I'm not sure if the GU is ready to go up. They kind of threw us off with that big spike at the bottom.
You see this?
Click the daily real quick and look at it.
I know, but what I want to show you is you see this head and shoulders on the weekly?
Oh yeah, I do see that. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about, that little pattern right there. I mean, it probably doesn't mean anything.
Oh, no, I totally believe in harmonics. I believe in that stuff. I believe in teacups, although I don't use those ones. But basically what we would look for is when price breaks this neckline, we'd be buying. Not until it breaks this neckline, according to the head and shoulders strategy. But now let's go to the day chart.
Yeah, I just want to throw that out there. I mean, I wasn't trying to say anything, you know.
No, you're good. You're fine. You're good. Stop it, silly. Hold on. So let's go to the daily. We see what we want to see. Like anything is possible, but we don't know. All we can do is speculate. So I don't see a super clear head and shoulders on the daily. Like personally, I mean, like this or an inverse or upright. Which one? A buy or a sell, head and shoulders? Curtis, are you there? Peekaboo.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm here. I was talking about if you look at right there, you got your first shoulder, then the head, then the shoulder.
As a buy or as a sell? Is it upright or is it inverse?
A buy. It's a buy.
So this would be a kind of shoulder. This would be the head.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an idea. I don't know. I was just going to put that in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible.
You see what I'm saying now?
Yeah, but since it broke the neckline, I'm pretty sure that would make it invalid. Or, I mean, it could be valid as a kind of crooked one. Well, wait a minute. Let me erase this line. The way I was taught was, I mean, these crooked ones aren't nearly as valuable. So.
It did break the high back right there, yeah.
So here's one line. And again, not any person in this group is perfect, including myself. So I think we're all praying for head and shoulders.
Yeah.
I am praying.
I'm not gonna lie to you, girl. I'm in GJ. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, that GJ, man. We're not friends. So technically what we'd be waiting for is for price to break. That's a kind of awful neckline, but this area.
Well, by the time you get in up there, it'd be too late anyway, I guess. But
I was these long-term moves. No, you're good. You're good. All right, Don, but I'm pretty sure that answered your question, so I want to move on to Isaac. Isaac, go ahead.
Yeah, but please, I want to go back to the Euro USD. You were talking about the the moving average 50.
You mean the euro odd that we were on?
Yeah.
Okay, let me fix my brain. There we go. Okay, let's go to the 4 hour. Let my charts catch up with my fingers. Let's see. Okay, there it is. And how can I help you?
Yeah. Talking about the moving average, the 50 moving average. Okay, if confirming the downtrend by the arrow and every other thing, would you wait for the trend to break the moving average before entering the trade?
Yes. Yes. So I don't care if you're using like the 33, which some of us have used. Okay. Pat used the 35. The reason why you're waiting for 9 and 18 crossover and the crossover of the 35 is because until it breaks trend, okay?
Okay.
So we just made this really ugly. The 4 hours, obviously a prettier view. But until it breaks the 50, like we don't know for sure. It could just be a pullback. So
Yeah.
this is just a pullback. It didn't quite close below. This is an actual move and was enough of a move for you to close out in profit. So enough of a move. Like it's not a lot, but believe it or not, like you can pay off your house with 35 pips once you learn how to trade.
Okay.
So the whole break of like, and we can make this anything you want. So like the 50 is the number that the banks use. I find it to be extremely relevant, but I know a guy, he loves his 20. He does exceptionally well. He's a phenomenal trader, so let's play with that. You want a slightly faster one for more confirmation? You can do that. You're going to have more noise on it, okay?
Yeah.
But it's the same concept. When price is above it, you're buying, and you're only looking for buys, okay?
Yeah.
When price is below it, you're selling, and you're only waiting for sells, right?
Okay. Yeah.
But it's the same concept as let me delete that one. Let me go to, so the triple arrow system is not guaranteeing we're going to move. All it's saying is a pullback is coming. To know if it's going to be a little B pullback or a real move, you need proof of trend change.
Yeah.
And the only things that give you proof of trend change, I mean, you can decide for yourself, but if you're asking me, I confirm my trend on the 1 hour chart because it works with my lifestyle. I confirm the trend based off of the 0 line on the RSI. So if it's above the 50 line on the RSI, it's considered a buy. I confirm the trend above the 50 EMA. So anything above the 50, I'm in a buyer's market. Anything below the 50, I'm in a seller's market. So that means each time these buy opportunities presented themselves, I'd be taking an entry for a set of number of pips, or I'd stack them. Do you see how that works?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay, thank you. I'm learning.
Yes, awesome. And that's all we're doing is we're just kind of learning together. So that's great that you're on here and kind of stepping up and asking questions.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, iPad, how's it going?
Good. It's 719 here.
Oh, see, there you go. That's my area code guy. That's right.
Hey, I got a question. I'm having some difficulty trying to understand when you set your stop loss. If we can take a look at ACAD.
Okay, I'm in that trade.
Okay, so I bought it maybe about a couple of hours ago to sell.
To sell?
Uh-huh.
Why'd you sell it?
Well, I have on ACAD, I have I had a triple arrow on ACAD.
On what time frame?
It was on a 15-minute time frame.
Okay.
The one showed the big arrow. I also had the money tree line turn red. I had a slight cross of the green on the MACD. And I had set my stop loss above the big arrow.
No, I don't know for sure, but so where did you get in? What time did you get in?
It was roughly about 2 hours ago. So let me look here.
Oh, you're selling for a few pips, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So about 2 hours ago, give or take, somewhere in here.
Yep, you got it.
Fair enough. So you're in profit then, or just about in profit?
Well, I got stopped out. That's what I don't understand. That's where I'm having the problem with the stop out.
Okay, so where did you set your stop loss at?
Okay, so I set my stop loss. I can actually give you one here. 0.93449.
Hold on, let me move this little zoom thingy. Yeah, it was close. Look at that. I just dropped that. I didn't even see it. That's awesome. Sorry. Okay, so your stop loss was here. If you got in here, I mean, but what made you decide that stop loss? Maybe that's a better question.
Well, it's kind of weird because on my chart, I'm above the big arrow. On yours, you're below the big arrow.
And you're sure you're on? We're both on CAD. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yeah.
And we're on the 15-minute chart. Is that correct?
I'm on the 15-minute chart. Mm-hmm.
And has your big arrow moved or no?
It had to move because I had the triple arrows on it, and now that big arrow actually moved to the right further.
Did you have any buy sell lines over here?
My money tree line actually turned red.
So
from your screen and my screen is different for some reason.
okay, so maybe you got in like right here. Well, my first question, were you ever in profit?
Yes, I was in profit for a little bit. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry.
Look.
Thank you.
So it looks like here, going back to my history, 0.93380 is where I got in at.
93380. 93380?
Yeah, 0.93380.
Oh, 33. I was like, huh? That's really high up there. Okay. So yeah, you got in at the very, so I'm gonna delete this now. That makes sense. So you probably got in somewhere in one of these tips, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what oscillators are you using?
I got the MACD and then also ADX.
Okay, so do you see this? Do you see how it was still saying buy? So the crossover happened. The green kind of came back in control. Like there's a good chance, like, well, first off, I don't know if you had the money, the buy sell lines over here or not. Like I can't confirm or deny that. But I can tell you that if you got in like 2 hours ago, there's a reason why I'm not taking like a bunch of live trades on this time of night, is because unless you really know what you're doing or you're swing trading, we shouldn't just be grabbing trades at this time of night. It's not a good time. The price usually resets. So that's why Pat was saying, like, unless you're a really, really good trader, it's just not worth it. Number one, that's something you can improve. So using the 15-minute chart, so for instance, to be more specific, if you're using the 15-minute chart, you probably should not be trading Asian session, because Asian session doesn't have enough volatility or trend direction to allow for a really good start. Like you're going to have some success, but you're not going to have enough. Number one. Number two, this was not in line with, so again, we're going to assume you got in somewhere around here. So our momentum is kind of freaking out. This is going down, so that looks good. I mean, so you had enough reasons to get in, but had you waited for like any other confirmations, like if you had RSI, if you waited for the break of the 50, or even using those same parameters, if you checked out the 4 hour, there's no way you would have bought. You would have sold there.
Gotcha.
Because I'm still buying this. I bought this and Odd Chef. Like Odd Chef has been amazing, but so you see this momentum candle, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this momentum candle broke the previous support.
Okay.
Do you see that?
Yep, I sure do.
So that's telling me price is doing what?
Going up.
So it doesn't mean like, as you can see on your 15-minute chart, the odds are you would have closed out with your handful of pips. But I'm just not prepared to risk my account for 10 pips.
Gotcha.
So according to the 4-hour, and let's take a look. I don't know what you saw again. I can't confirm that because some of those indicators repeat. But let's take a look just for discussion purposes. You had the sell arrow on the 1-hour, but you didn't have enough confirmation. So you still don't have your ADX lining up. Assuming we can't see everything over here, this wasn't even lining up, your MACD, right?
Right.
And again, I can only assume this is speculation, but you also have the most recent green dot saying it's a buy. It broke the 50 and it retested it saying it's a buy. And your money tree spring line is still saying buy. So you didn't have enough confluence to take this trade. And if you want to take that constructive criticism and apply it to your next trade, you're going to do super, super well.
Yeah, okay, no, that's good information. Now on my 1-hour, I did get the dot. I don't know, does it show on yours or no?
On your 4-hour?
1-hour.
Let's see. I don't see it, no.
Okay.
It doesn't mean it's not there.
Right.
Oh, maybe that's it. Yeah, I do have it, I think. That little baby dot, I think I do have it. Let's see. But again, I play it really safe. So I want it to be in line with the 1-hour and 4-hour. If there's anything I'm good at, it's consistency. This is a really good move up. We're making higher highs. It broke a really, really strong level of support. It broke another one and kept going up. And we have these momentum candles. These momentum candles tell us something's going on in the market. So the odds are this is going to retrace probably to at least here. So that 15, 16 pips, depending on what broker you have. You might get enough to get out your 10 pips, but this isn't like a super sexy trade. It moves pretty slow, right?
Yep.
So it's just not really a great trade. But the cool thing is it's a great learning experience, right? Because your stop loss was so tight, you didn't even feel that loss. So silver lining maybe? Does that answer your question?
Oh, yes, it does. No, thank you very much.
You are welcome. Does anybody else have another question?
Yes, Andy. How are you reading that ADX? How are you using that?
Okay, so I went over this on my last training, so it is recorded. Here's what I know, so my plus DI, which is my green line, right? So my buyer's line is green, my seller's line is purple, right? So whatever you programmed your negative DI to be, whatever color that is, whatever you programmed your positive DI to be, that's your buy line. So what I'm looking for, so we're on this pair, not a great mover, but let's use it for conversational purposes instead of looking for perfection. So what we're looking for is, for me to have a good example, hold on. We want momentum to be strong. And at very least, we want momentum to be facing up. So this white line is our momentum. We do not want to take a trade when momentum is like really low or when it's stalling out or it's kind of equal to price, because that's just saying we don't want to be in this mess, right? So you see that mess? This is, a whole day's worth of just drama and nothing happening, right? Do you see this right here? Well, our ADX told us that because momentum was really low. And then you see this beautiful, gorgeous move right here. Very simple, pretty perfect. I'm sure we had triple arrows and we have our support lines. Price broke below the 50 and we have our 2 new arrows. So momentum candle, as you can see, price came back up to test at about 50%. But what do we see on our ADX? So on our ADX, we have a beautiful crossover to where the purple is now on top, but the momentum is up. Do you see that? Sir? I'm not sure if he's still there.
Yes, I had muted myself. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. There's a lag, and I always feel like I'm talking to myself. So, same thing here. You've got a perfect crossover, and again, you have momentum facing up. What you don't want to take is like a trade where you have a crossover and momentum is facing down. So something like this, that's ugly. We want to stay out of that market. Okay. What you're looking for is moments like momentum is up and strong. You have a crossover. You have a kind of touch and reject. Do you see that?
Right.
Touch and reject. I count that as an entry. I count that as an entry because again, momentum is facing up. Okay. This right here, I want to stay out of it. I would probably have gotten in on this one out of being wrong, but I like to see my momentum above 25 for sure. At the bare minimum, preferably above 40, because that's saying there's volume in the marketplace. But again, same concept. So you have this move, a beautiful crossover, price goes above the 25, your green buy, and momentum is facing up. You see that?
Yes.
Now, in terms of getting out of the trade, you don't care. So if your buyer's line is kind of going up and down, that should not scare you. It does not mean get out of the trade. What should make you decide to get out of the trade is when the seller's line starts going up. And right now the seller's line is going up. So this should make you exit the trade. Well, for me, I'm swinging this pair, so that's okay. But my stop is in profit. So if you were just taking your 20 or 30 pips for your day, this right here is telling you to get out of the trade. Because as soon as this crosses over, so same thing, what you'll notice is this sell line kind of bounced around a lot, but it wasn't a problem because the buyer's line was still going down, right? Buyer's line was still going down. It kind of retraced a little bit, but still going down. It became a problem when seller's line went up, because it's going to happen all the time in the market. The same concept over here, a lot of bouncing around, not a problem until it crosses again. So that's kind of how I learned to read the ADX.
Okay, those settings you have are not standard when you just pull it up on MT4, right?
That's correct.
And you have what is 10 and 14?
I don't use 14 on almost anything because it is a lagging indicator, right?
Okay.
What I do have is, this is set at 10. I like it a lot. So you guys can take screenshots. It's a 10. And my momentum line is white. My DI1 and my negative DI is purple. The levels I have are 20, 25, and 40. You want momentum to be going up. You want, like, so if you're buying, your buy line should be above the 20 or 25, depending on the strategy you're using. If you're selling, you want it to be above the 20, 25. Here we go. Before you really take it seriously. And that's going to stop you from taking wrong trades.
Okay.
The idea is following a few simple rules will stop you from entering trades that just weren't ready. Does that make sense?
Yes. Thank you.
Next question. Let's see. Ancha. All right, guys, who has the next question?
Yeah, hello, Jenny.
Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Hey, I'm good. Could you put those that ADX or those settings in the chat?
Yes, I can. I can. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. All right, next question. Let's see.
Hello, Jen.
Hey, Isaac, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm seeing some by the right side of the chart, 3 green. I didn't know what would I call it. Is 3, 1, 2, 3 by the right side of the chart. I don't know what that means. Yeah.
This?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is your average daily range. Notice how small this number is on this pair right here in Odd Chef.
Okay.
So this is saying that on average, this pair moves about 40 pips a day for the last week. And for the last 4 weeks, it's moved about 46. And for the last 12 weeks, it's moved about 48. Now this, you can learn a lot from this. So like, for instance, you can set your take profit based off of this. You can set your stop loss based off of this. It tells you a lot. And like, for instance, like if, let me think, if the pair usually moves like 80 or 90 pips in the last 12 weeks and all of a sudden it's 40, you know that something big and explosive is about to happen in the marketplace. If this is really stalling out, it will tell you. But the biggest way that I use this is it tells me I'm not going to go for a 50 pip take profit if I'm trying to close out of this trade today when the average daily range is only 40 pips. I'm going to go for like half of that safely, okay, or maybe about the same as my stop loss, so a 1-to-1 ratio, and then safely get my money and get out of the market.
Okay.
So what I tell a lot of my students is just to go for half of it. And then in success and you become a better trader, you know, your accuracy ratios, then you can go for more. Until you have that, just go for half of it.
All right.
But, so you see how
what's indicator is that? Where do you
it's
get
called
that?
the bar alert, and it's in the notification channel. So if you go to the notification channel and you type in bar alert, it will come up under files.
Right.
So you see how much the GBP pair moves?
Yeah.
Check this out. Some of them move an awful lot. See this one? That's crazy, right? So when this one moves, it moves. It moves a lot.
Okay, you mean GBP pairs move fast and move more pips than every other pair?
Not every other pair, but in general, yes, GBP pairs move faster and a lot more than most pairs, yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You are welcome. I know it's a lot to learn, but I promise you'll get there.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Let's see.
Hello?
Hey, how's it going?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I just had a follow-up question with that ADR.
Yes, sir.
Are we looking at the move from top to bottom, like the low and the high of the entire session?
So it's similar to the high and the low, but this is saying that on average, it only moves 50 pips a day. So like it might move a lot in between that 50 pips, but it only moves like 50 pips for that day. Does that make sense?
Right, right. So we're looking at the whole day, not just the session?
Yeah, no, this is based off of the trading day. So from open of Asia to the close of New York.
Okay, okay. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Jenny, you said we can find that in the navigation tab?
Yeah, it's in the navigation tab. I think it's in the chat as well as the notification group. So yeah, it's in there.
Okay.
Yep. Do you guys see how CHF is stronger and JPY is weaker using this indicator? You see how price is going up? We've got a crossover of our ADX, crossover here. So to scalp for a few pips, even on the 1 hour, would be super possible. Let's see. Is it worth it? What's my spread on this? My spread on this broker is way too high. But if you guys want to see what I see, the odds are this is in a seller's market. But this would be a decent pair of trade in this session. So this is actually a buy. I don't like how it's below the 50. Huh. Let's see the 30-minute time frame. CHF is getting stronger. Yeah. Are there any other questions?
Hey, Jean.
Yeah, Jenny.
Hey, Tim, how's it going?
Oh, doing okay. What indicator is it that you're using to show the strength of these different symbols over here to the left?
I use like 50 different indicators for that. But this one is pretty basic, and I've had it for the longest. Anything else? So, hold on. Let's see. So this one is called currency meter, and I'll drop it in the notification channel. But keep in mind, like when you're long-term trading, this is only so accurate. This is really good for like your scalps, for your 15-minute. I'm wondering if this is a good entry I would take. Again, I don't like the stop loss so much, but that's a way bigger stop loss. I like how it's lined up on the 4-hour. And it's making higher highs. So this is probably about a 31% retracement if I had to guess. Let's see. I did that backwards, huh? Sorry. I knew better. Oh, it's not going to let me delete it. Come on. The odds are, yeah. I messed up. Come on, let me delete it.
Jenny,
Hey, how's it going?
I just right down to object list.
I'm sorry, go to object list.
Yes. 739. Edit and press delete.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Delete. Yeah, baby, thank you.
You're welcome.
I totally did that way wrong, didn't I? So if we're trying to see how big this move was, why is it being a brat? Right click, object list. The odds are that's like literally a 31.8, like almost identically. I don't know why it's not coming up, but whatever. I do know how to draw forms, believe it or not. Okay. That's a really good entry. So as you learn to see the charts, like you'll be able to see things differently, but that takes time. It does take a lot of time. So on this entry, yeah, I would mess with this.
And Jenny, regarding the pound stuff, you said you wouldn't worry with that right now because it's weak.
Well, thankfully it's going up, but again, that little doohickey over there, it moves by, I think I had this set really bad, but whatever. There we go. See how that's literally a 31.8 retracement? And that should keep going up. I really have to change those settings. But anyways, yeah, the pound pairs are weak. So let's go to that real quick. Let me delete that doohickey. If they're just really weak. So you need, before you try to buy that pound pair, please make sure it is a fully confirmed move. Because you have to realize there are many 7-figure accounts, 8-figure accounts, billion-dollar accounts that are trying to buy GBP right now. And if all that buying pressure and the markets are still tripping, they're still going down, and they literally are still tripping. I mean, period, right? That's what they're doing. You really want a confirmed move. So right now, thankfully, Chef, we would want GBP to be stronger than Chef. But let's go to one where GBP is.
Yeah, I got into one here this morning, and it was looking really good. That was about 5:17 Central this morning. Pound CAD, and it really did take off.
But it went in your favor, right? That one moved up.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, that one moved up. So this one, there's a few of them that are looking kind of hopeful. They're not confirmed yet, but this is making higher highs. We just be very careful. Did you get your 10 pips and get out or what?
No. I let it roll, and with that, I think I got my 20. Well, gosh, I'd have to look back at the history.
What time frame did you get in on?
I got in on I was trying to do the Stairmaster 4 hour and then 15 minute.
Well, there you go. Well, then you did well. I mean, but that's not always going to happen. So if I don't know where exactly you got in, but assumably you got in somewhere around here.
Let's see.
Down to the 15-minute time frame. GBP CAD made a nice move. But again, nothing is confirmed with the GBP pairs. They're just, everybody on the planet is waiting for those to buy. So they're trying to cash out on as many sell pips as they can.
I see. Okay.
So you got in here. If you had to take profit set, you would have been great. But if you got your pips, yeah. Because this went 50 pips, give or take, obviously with spread and everything.
I set it up for 3 different separate trades, and within, I guess, roughly 30, 40 minutes, it was up 81 pips.
Nice. Nice. Well, you're getting it. First off, way to go. That's awesome.
Yeah, I entered on that green dot that was underneath the candle over there, the far right at the time. I got a picture of it.
This one right here. So you even got a better entry then, huh?
I must have.
That's fantastic. That's way to go. You're coming a long way. That is awesome, Tim.
Well, I was beginning to think I wasn't going to get the Stairmaster here, but anyways, it's beginning to make some sense here. I entered on Aussie Swiss and Aussie CAD the evening before, and those went pretty well too. Yeah, but it wasn't. It was like it was being going another trend. It was getting away from the sell and going to the buy. It was. I didn't catch it once the trend had been established with the steps, so to speak.
And that's okay. Honestly, guys, that's how I trade. Like, everybody wants brand new triple arrows, but I'd rather not have brand new triple arrows. I'd rather have something like this, where the trend is kind of confirmed. Well, here, let me think of one. Euro GBP is not that. Where, like, the trend is already confirmed, and, like, you see the sell dots.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking for this move to buy, this move to buy, this move to buy, because this is speculation. This is, we might think it might turn around.
Right.
This price is actually reversing. To me, yeah, your stop loss is bigger, but these are confirmed moves. These are actually with the trend, very safe trading, like super easy. Get your 20 pips or your 30 pips and get out of the market.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right.
But way to go. I'm so happy for you.
Are you doing it though? When you go from, are you going? It sounded like you were saying you're going from 4 hour to 1 hour. So you're not going from 4 hour to 15 minutes.
No, I usually don't play with the 15-minute. The only time I use the 15-minute is for indices, for US 30, and cryptos. I just, not to say I don't check it, but in general, I don't really care what the 15 hour is doing because I have enough confirmation. So take any one of these moves, right? Let's say that I saw the price,
right?
A perfect one. Let's take this one, which is still below the 50. It's not a perfect setup. Let's be honest, it's not perfect.
Okay.
Go down to the 1 hour. There it is. On the 1 hour, I would have had my momentum facing up, my buy facing up. I'd have that crossover, but then I also have price crossing over the 0, which is actually confirmed. I've got support and resistance. Price broke my 50. Like, this is a confirmed move. I don't have to stress out about what the 15 minutes doing, or if it's got this, or if it's got that, because this is enough for me.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Like, I don't need to know everything. And that works on everything. So you have to do what works for you. This works for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I can definitely see what you're doing that way. You know, are you working off the dots in this case here versus just the you know, like 1 or 2 dots when it goes?
Okay, so very honestly, every indicator that doesn't repeat is a lagging indicator, right?
Right, that's correct.
But any indicator that does repaint is a leading indicator.
Mm-hmm.
They're awesome. They're massively favorable, and I think I've made more money with them than I have anything else. That and a few other strategies. However, comes with repaint. So if I trusted these dots on every one time they showed up, I do not trade like that personally.
Okay.
I want to see a couple. So this chart, I think I took it off. Oh yeah, I made this chart in front of you guys. So I usually have my daily and my 4 hour, but I want to see more than one.
Okay.
I want to see more than one dot.
Okay, so you're using the 4 hour and the daily both in those SRs.
No, I'm not using the daily chart. I'm using the daily dots.
That's what I'm saying.
But keep in mind, 4 of these dots this would be 1 per hour, and that's a 4 hour dot. So
okay.
Does that make sense?
Right.
So that kind of comes out in the wash. When this shows up, it's gonna come up with 4 when it actually gets stable. So when that 4 hour candle closes, don't quote me, I might be wrong, but I believe this starts with 4 dots.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm not looking. See how that's a set of 4? That's a set of 12. So that's how I use it. I want to know that 4 hour is closed. And how do I know that? I know that because I have more than 1 dot.
Okay.
And if you're not waiting for that candle to close, then, I mean, you're going to be right a lot, but you're going to be wrong too.
You need to grab a second dot to make sure.
Yeah, so like I'm assuming there might have been a dot here. I don't know for sure. This is all speculation. And yeah, you would have technically caught some pips, but I want the safer set, you know, so.
Okay.
That's all.
Okay, and on that spreadsheet, I'm just about I mean, I kind of watched you on that one there earlier, and I think I have Excel on this computer I'm working with now. But
I know I sent you that spreadsheet before. I know I did because I sent you ones from different groups. Yeah.
Right, but to really learn how to apply that in the real sense, I just hadn't been used to working with those spreadsheets. I did a little bit a long time ago, years ago, but that's it was just very, very, very limited at all.
It's okay. Like, you don't have to be an Excel guru. The purpose of that trading plan is more for you to learn how to follow the rules.
Okay.
It's more for you to learn how to stick with a strategy and a system and not be over trading, not be treat it like a business. It'll pay you like one.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Got a question?
Hey, Irving, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Fantastic.
I just joined your class because I had another customer that showed up to my office. Hey, I have a. Can you go over about the ADX rules? Because I just applied to my mobile, and I think I'm doing a. I'm applying the indicator correctly, but I'm not 100% sure. So maybe going through one more time the settings will clear up my doubt.
Okay, so the settings for the ADX are they are set at 10. Again, most indicators are lagging enough, so I have mine set at 10. I have it at white. I think this is a 2 in thickness. I don't have any fixed maximums or minimums. Colors is obviously your personal choice for your charts. And then the levels is kind of the key point. So you have a 20, a 25, and a 40. So like if we label these, Momentum. Okay. Let's say, I don't know. Hold on. Okay.
What I'm confused is about the 20 and the 25. I know about the momentum, but for some reason I'm just confused when it does the crossover. Like that.
I was trying to think about how to word this. So when again, we're on Euro NZD, so let's kind of pick ugly. Let's stick with what typically happens. So let's take this move right here. We're on the 1 hour chart. And actually that's the reason why I started using this again, was to apply it to my phone, because I didn't have access to a different indicator I have on my computer. So right here, what do we have? We have our sell line, okay, our D negative DI crossed above the 20, right? It crossed above the green, which is great. It crossed above the 20, which is great, right? It even crossed above the 25. But we see momentum going up. So let's pretend like we can't see anything over here. We know that's kind of hard to do because we're humans. Let's try to make this as realistic as possible. Let's say we can't see anything past this, okay? So our momentum is facing where? Up. We have a crossover of the buy and the sell. That's saying that sellers are in control. And because it's over it's over the 20, which is a safe entry, it's above the 25, which is the safer entry, and momentum is, you want the momentum to be headed to the 40 or above the 40. That's what's really going to give you that strong push when momentum is facing the right way. Because this right here is telling you that the crossover, but momentum is facing the wrong way, so we don't want to take this trade, right? This trade right here. Do you see how if you followed the rules, it would have saved you from taking a sell here?
Jenny, when all the moving average are close to each other, then it's just better off to stay out of the trade.
So right here,
right,
price is consolidating. So this is going to help you. So we're waiting for a breakout. So we had a crossover, trying to pretend like we can't see anything else that happens. Again, that's hard for conversational purposes, but let's try. It's worth the effort. So let's say we can't see what's happening. So if we only saw this isn't ready because our momentum line is facing down. Do you see that?
right.
So, and again, let's say we looked again after work, our momentum line is facing sideways, right?
Yep.
So our first rule of this is our momentum line must be facing up, okay? The 40, anytime the momentum is above the 40, you've got strong moves coming. So, so we're gonna, again, we're pretending like we can't see anything that happens. Let's try to go a little bit at a time. It's really hard. But now we see, okay, we have a big, strong crossover, right? But momentum still really isn't clear. Like, so let's say this is when we saw it and the momentum is facing down. We'd want to wait to enter this until we saw this. You see how momentum is facing up?
Yeah. It's above the 25, right?
Yeah, so momentum is above the 25 and it's facing up. So now, like, when we go to look at this sell, like, it's sold nicely. And this works way good on the smaller time frames. It works really good with the SARs. I use it with the SARs mostly, but it saves me from the bad entry.
Yes, that's, wow, it's amazing. Once I combine it with my 10 with the 10 pips, it works pretty good. So I'm very impressed of how this ADX works. So.
You know, it's fire. Like, you'll do super, super well. I mean, you're just waiting for that momentum to kind of be, make a rule that says, say you want it to be above the 20, the 25, and you want a clean crossover and it to be facing up. So my rule is clean cross and facing up. Pretty simple. And in terms of reading you know that you can stay in this trade. So, like, let's say you sold here when momentum line faced it up, right? you can stay in this trade until you see the money line coming back up. So if you're selling, when the green line is coming back up and crosses, that's when you get out.
Yep. Wow. Beautiful.
It is beautiful. Definitely beautiful.
That's all I wanted to know. So I just clear my mind, and I was doing it right, except that I was not really 100% sure. So that's what I wanted to make sure to ask, and then but now I just gonna continue doing what I was doing. So.
Yep, that's awesome. That is awesome. Is it working better now that you're kind of waiting for the 50 or the RSI 50?
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, it's so easy.
It's crazy, yeah. You can just jump on your phone and just get a couple pips. Because that's what we want to trade when it's confirmed with the trend. We don't want to try to get these overbought, oversold. Because just if your accuracy is fire, like you can turn a baby account into six figures in a matter of weeks, like life-changing amounts of money in less than a month. It's honest to God possible, very possible, but your accuracy needs to be on point. So we're looking for the best accuracy. We don't want to do the original thought of that whole overbought, oversold. We want to do the confirmed move, and that confirmed move will get you enough pips, I promise.
Right.
That's awesome.
Thank you for doing all these classes. It's really...
You're welcome, and thank you for helping everybody set up their MT4s. You're a rock star.
Yeah.
Everyone shouts out your name, so that's fantastic.
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, girl. How's it going?
It's going good. Quick question. So how do I get, using my cell phone? I got an Apple. So using my cell phone, how do I get in my trade? Like, I couldn't figure that out for nothing today.
I could show you. Like, so we can do like a Zoom one-on-one. It's super easy. I'm an Apple girl myself, so I feel ya.
Okay.
It's super easy, I promise.
Okay. Alrighty, thanks.
You are welcome. All right, any other questions, comments? Sorry I didn't record the spreadsheet part. I will re-record that and make a super short video. I think my Apple kind of knocked us out because they're just stingy like that. Yes, Ron, that spreadsheet will be available. The leverage on the accounts needs to be, I personally tell everybody that 500 to 1 is the minimum amount of leverage you should be using. And anything else, it's just not worth it, at least not to me, because the leverage is too low. And those are the questions in the chat. I'm going to take a look at EA.
Hey, Jim.
Hello?
I know you're at Applebee's, aren't you?
Yes, I sure am. Yes.
How's it going?
It's pretty good. I just had a question about something you just said about the leverage.
Yes, sir.
Like, I signed up for the AAFX, and I chose the 2001. I was trying to figure out, like, what type of percentage that I need to make sure that I stay above as far as when I make my trade.
Again, I can't tell anybody like the lot size they can use. I can tell you a little workaround that I did. I like to kind of try to keep my margin percentage above 1,000 or at least above 500. But in that account, you should really keep it above, like, I mean, 750 should be the lowest. So if you have 750% availability, you're good. But don't let it go below because that account is massively leveraged. So when it moves, it moves. It moves fast. But it's really hard to.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, so keep the percentage.
Okay, yeah, I was sticking with the 1,000 mark, but okay, so I was on the right. Like I was writing down my rules, so I was like, well, I don't know what percentage I need to make sure that I need to stay above, so I just chose 1,000.
Yeah, no. So
and I kind of thought that was pushing it. I thought that was kind of pushing it myself, but I wasn't sure, so I knew I had to come to class so I could ask.
No, that's awesome. No, seriously, with that kind of leverage, you can do some massive damage. Again, you could, doesn't mean you should, but you can do 2 full standards on a $100 account especially with like momentum on your side. So with some momentum on your side and you're just going for those handful of pips just to build that account like rapidly fast, you can do some massive damage with 2001 leverage. I'm talking insane. But don't go too much, okay? We'll break your account. I promise.
No, I have to make sure that I wanted to make at least 20 successful on my live trading before I even tried anything like that. And I only made 2 successful trades on my live account so far, so I still got a ways to go.
Okay, well then, yeah, don't be over leveraging. Don't play too much until you have some really good success. Okay.
Right. Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay. Is there any other questions, guys?
Hey, Jenny.
Hey, Edward, right?
Yeah.
How's it going?
Pretty good. How's it going?
Fantastic. Welcome.
I got in JPD USD on the 4-hour last night.
GBP?
Yeah, USD.
Yeah.
On the 4-hour.
But why
Kind
did
of
you?
going bad. Well, because the 4-hour had an error on there.
Okay. So what time did you get in this trade?
I don't even know. So maybe around 1:30 a.m. on my time.
So that means you would have gotten, if you've gotten in the last 24 hours, you should not have gotten in.
Why is that? Can you explain?
Yes. So on the 4-hour, just looking at the 4-hour again, I can't say, but these are 4-hour candles. So let's just say 4, 8, 12, 16, 24 hours. So if you got in anywhere left or sorry, right of that support and resistance, price broke below that support and resistance. So you had to have gotten in, 1:30 your time, you're central, right?
I'm an hour ahead of your time, or behind your time, my bad.
Wait, are you in California?
No, I live in Texas.
Okay, then you're central, so you're an hour ahead.
Okay, my bad.
So that's okay. So you got in somewhere here, which means
Yeah, I assume so.
price literally broke below the last support or buy, right? The buy sell dots.
Yeah.
So I can't say exactly what part of this candle you got in, but either way, at this point, what oscillators are you using?
Like what indicator am I using?
Yeah.
Well, I have the helpline, I think.
Triple
That's what
arrows, money tree string, right?
Yeah, I have the helpline, like
Buy
the one.
trees. Oh, okay, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's it. I don't have the ADX. I've been thinking about using it again, like putting it on there just to confirm a better entry.
I like the ADX. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, no, these don't have it. Okay. So let's stick with this one.
Do you think I should just cut my losses or just wait it out?
I can't give you any advice on GBP because look where GBP is going up, thankfully.
Yeah, it was pretty weak a while ago.
So everyone, like I said, there are literally billion-dollar accounts waiting for GBP to gain some strength.
Yeah, it had a pretty big move a couple weeks ago, right?
Big money people, so not just me, are waiting for GBP to turn around. Because keep in mind, this has made, I don't know for sure, but let's just do roundabout numbers. This has literally dropped, I don't know why that didn't measure. Silly. Let's try this again. Again, huh? There we go. So this has been like a 500-ish pip move with no real retracement, okay? And that's a lot. So we haven't seen a 50% retracement. We haven't seen a 61.8. We haven't even seen probably a full 31%.
Yeah.
Everyone is waiting for this pair to move. So your stop loss should be in place.
Yeah, it is.
You'll be okay with losing this pair. Like, I would tell everybody not to buy GBP anything until you have some massive higher highs. And I'm talking a few, not just one or two. You want a few. So put your stop loss below one of these supports and resistance, and it could go in your favor. It still can, but I'm the only person waiting for this to turn around. So I'm totally not. But it did break it broke this support and resistance. So that's saying it's got selling power, right? And then if it breaks this one, get out of this trade.
Okay.
Because anytime it breaks this lower low, and remember, you got in this when it broke it, which was not wise, okay?
Yeah, it wasn't.
And that's okay. Like, the great thing is you learned. So,
And it was a pretty small lot size too, so I mean, it's not gonna hurt my account. Really, like a lot.
so if it's not going to hurt your account, just lessons learned. Go to the 1 hour and say, okay, you got in this when there was no clear buying power. You see how momentum is going down? Like,
Yeah,
it'll
you're right.
put 1,000 indicators on this chart. And I promise you, most of them are going to say the same thing, which is, hey, this pair just wasn't ready.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So it is still below. I mean, it kind of broke above a little bit, but it is still below. I bet you on the 1 hour, right when you got in, it was still below the 50. It's just, it's not ready yet. I wish it was more than anybody right here.
Yeah, if it breaks the support, I'll just get out of it. It's not a big deal.
It's okay, but you'll learn. You're going to get better, I promise.
Yeah.
You're doing great. You're super new, and like, you're on these calls, you're asking questions, so way to go. Good on you.
Oh, thank you. And I have a question on your dots that you were talking about a while ago.
My dots?
Yeah. Do you watch them on a daily or the 4 hour? I didn't understand what you were.
I have them set at both. I really care more about the ones on the 4 hour because that works for me. So like, you have to think 4 dots on the 4 hour is 1 daily. Make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And that's 24 dots on the hourly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I'm really good at figuring out the math on the little stupid things, I think. So for me, I'm good with the 4 hour. It makes sense to me. And then the cool thing is if it resets, one dot on the daily could technically reset because that daily dot, we won't know for sure until the close. But the problem is we won't know it reset until, give or take, there's like literally a 12 to 36 hour window. And again, I'm probably confusing a lot of people. I'm just really good at these weird details. So for me, it makes more sense to use the 4 hour ones, essentially. I mean, to keep it super short.
Do you get in on the 15 or do you don't mess with the 15, right?
I really don't mess with the 15. The only time I use the 15 minute is like if I'm doing that little SARS thing that Irving and I kind of came up with on the phones, or if I'm doing cryptos, US 30 or indices.
How do you get in? You get on just on the 4 hour?
I check on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. That's it. I just want them to line up. That's it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you check the EU RGBP?
EU or EU? This one?
EUR.
Oh. GBP. Okay. Okay. There you go. I'm actually in this trade, but not in my live account yet.
Yeah, me too. That one is good. Can you pull the RSI again?
Let's see.
He just had it, but I don't know if he just.
Different chart, that's all. So the euro is officially weaker than GBP, but not by a lot.
It just broke the 50 trend change.
On the 1 hour too, and it retested it, which is good.
Yeah, that's a good sell.
And that's right after. So there's no more news for this, and I was waiting until this news candle, but I knew I was going to be on with you guys because euro had their unemployment stuff. But I want to see a candle close below the 50 on the 1 hour chart because this I wouldn't just scalp it, I'd take it down. Now on this one, I see a head and shoulders.
Right.
So, and again, if you're going the head and shoulders strategy, you'd be going for 100 plus pips, and you'd want to wait till it broke this area. Yep. That's an awesome one. But I'm selling most euro pairs.
Okay.
Euro, just be careful with GBP because it's got some big move coming. We just don't know what it is yet, guys. So don't go heavy on GBP. But that's awesome. This is a good trade. Like if you want to wait until, because both of these pairs trade heavy in London. So if you're going to be up or can watch this or want to take it for a few pips, you totally can. Let's see. What is the 15-minute doing? See how this looks, Irving?
Right.
That's the perfect look. You've got a crystal clear crossover. You've got momentum facing up. You've got a break of the 50. This isn't telling us much of anything, and that's fine. But this is what you're looking to see. That's perfect. That's entry material on the 15-minute chart. And then to take this for a few pips, yeah. You would easily get your 10, I mean, depending on what your spread is, yeah. You could go super heavy on this lot size, and you should be able to close out of this before London, before that even happens. So, yes, sir, that's a good one.
I'm on that trade, so.
Yeah. Well, and it also broke this kind of support right here. That's awesome. So it's making lower lows now. It's there.
Right.
It is there. GBP is getting stronger, thank God. Euro's going down, which is exactly what we need.
Thank God GBP is getting stronger.
Please just let it keep getting stronger. You guys have no idea. No idea. Like, I have hedged that. So if we go to GJ, check this out. I have hedged over, like, I think I've got almost 2,000 pips in hedging, which I never do. This was pure stupidity, and I do not recommend it. But I have hedged this about over 2,000 pips because of a gap. God, that gap was forever ago. Oh, right here.
Been in a buy
Yes,
since
I
then.
hope it gets strong too. My goodness.
Then you've been in a buy since then.
Yeah. So typically I don't say hedge. I would never say hedge. In this case, I typically don't trade Sundays. A friend of mine called me out on that. I'm not going to fib. However, I used to be like the gap queen, and I had a lot of fun with it. So when the markets gapped a lot that day, I went super heavy. And when I say heavy, I mean heavy. I had an incredibly insane amount of money, like enough to pay off a lot of houses, so more than one house, at least where I live, on this one trade. So when it broke the 50, I ended up reselling down and hedging. I tried here. Okay, I did make money on this spot. I hedged down, I hedged down, I hedged down. I was really praying that this was the turnaround. It was not. So, yep, I'm seriously holding this huge trade, which I can't believe I'm saying this on a live recording that I can't even take it back, but it is what it is. So
You're still in it?
I am still in it, yeah.
Oh, damn.
On a live account. Not something I can take back. But I've increased the account balance, and my marginal percentage of availability is good. So I stopped trading any other pair in this account, and so every time I took the lot size, I took a lot size for 2 to 3 times the size, and then I just kept increasing the lot size. So my account balance has grown exponentially because I've had to trade so heavy. So in order to fix my mistakes, because I still make mistakes too, I had to make other worse mistakes to continue to avoid breaking that account, which I might still break that account. If it keeps going down, I'm going to run out of luck.
But eventually that gap has to close, right?
That gap has to close, yeah. I know people with a lot more money than I've ever seen in my life who are still holding this buy. Insanely amount. So when it's going to go back up, it's just you have to have a big enough account to withhold that many pips, and you have to know what you're doing. So when you hedge down, if you're using the same exact lot size, your margin percentage is literally 0 because you're hedged at the equal amount. But if you're using double the lot size and triple the lot size, you have to do it just right and close it at just the right second, or you'll hit a margin call. So it's a very tricky thing. I got a chance to learn from somebody who's really good at it, at hedging. It's not my thing per se, but it's working. It saved that account, so it's working. It's better than nothing. But,
Does JPD USD have a gap or no?
Yeah. What? No. That gap closed.
Oh, okay.
See this gap didn't,
Yeah.
with almost any broker, check trading, it didn't close. No. These ones closed.
Oh, okay.
Yep. They closed. I don't even know if this one had a gap that day.
No, I don't see
know
any.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Any other questions, comments? It's getting kind of late.
Hey, Jen, before you head out, can you walk me through how to get to where you guys will load the that Excel sheet?
I don't understand your question. Oh, like where to find it?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. Oh, I just broke that. So we're gonna put another one in there. It's gonna be in this group, okay?
Okay.
It'll be in that group and it'll be in the pin post, okay?
Okay.
But give me and Brandon just a little bit of time, if you will, because I'm gonna send it to him. He's gonna convert it. He's gonna send it back to me. We will add both files to where you can actually do what you gotta do.
Okay, so when you click over there and you just click that, you highlight that.
Sorry. So if you go to this.
Okay.
I know how to do this. Oh, here. Go to files.
Okay.
And you'll see it.
Okay, that's what. Yeah, you did that last time and I couldn't figure that out. Okay, I got it.
It's okay. I still mess up when I do it on the computer all the time. All the time. I promise. And I think I have to sneeze again. Definitely have to sneeze. All right. Any other major questions, comments, things you want me to look at?
I have one more question.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty good for myself. When uploading the ADX, I was looking for it in the indicators, and I couldn't find anything that said ADX. So I was trying to figure out how to actually upload it.
So.
Oh, average directional movement index. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's actually written out. I thought I was looking for ADX. So
look, it's under trend. Oopsie, trend.
Okay, yes, thank you.
You are welcome.
Hey, Jenny, one last question. Where do you get your strength at on your left screen?
This?
Yeah.
I'll drop that in the group. But guys, please keep in mind that it's a momentary indicator. So this is by the moment. It is known to freeze up. It is known to have glitches. So you really want to make sure it's refreshing your charts. If you don't see it moving and adjusting by the minute, then you need to take it off and put it back in, okay?
Okay.
So we're trading long term. This is good to find a pinpoint entry, but it might not be the long-term answer. This could be the really short term right now, okay? And if you guys can understand that, then I don't mind giving it to you. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay. Awesome.
One more thing, Jenny. As far as that, the currency strength, I actually found a good indicator as far as for that on FinViz. I go to FinViz, it's free. And then if you click on Forex, it'll actually show the major pairs in order of strength with the percentages. And you can look at it from a 5 hour, from a 1 hour, and from different time frames if you want to.
Can you drop it to me, or does it have to be downloaded?
No, it's a website. It's finviz.com.
Okay. Message me.
It's FIN. That's FINVIZ. Finviz.com, and then you go to Forex, and it'll have the strength index on that page, and you can look at it if you're looking at different time frames if you want to.
I have a lot of them, honestly. So.
And I believe it updates. I believe it updates every 10 minutes.
This is one. See.
Oh. That's a lot of lines. Oh, wow. Yeah.
I
That's
have a lot
cool.
of them. This is one.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was just the one that I found, and it was very easy to read because it has them like lined up in comparison to each other. So what I found myself doing was trying to find, looking at the pairs first with the highest strength versus the weakest.
But on what time frame? Okay. So this is by the moment. So here's the thing. That was another reason why I started using the ADX. Is the ADX will confirm this, okay? It'll confirm the currency heat wave without having to look at 9,000 indicators. Because some of those indicators that I just showed you is really, but the problem is it's not going to show you that this is that strong until after it made that much of a move. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I'll definitely be waiting for that indicator in the group, and
before
probably add the ADX.
Yeah, before everyone gets super enticed by all the cool indicators, like the people send a lot of stuff, I check out a lot of stuff, but here's the deal. The CHF is not going to become the strongest until CHF moves that much. Does that make sense?
Right. So it's kind of a prediction.
No, the problem is it's a lagging. So it's by the minute, which is nice, right? Hey, Apple, I'm going to call you Applebee's, dude. I'm telling you now. I'm totally calling you Applebee's. I'm telling you. Okay? So listen. This happened, CHF was the strongest because it made this much of a move. Make sense? So it just moved 27 pips in this amount of time. That's why it's the strongest.
Okay.
But now this 8.2, this very easily could just drop and now it's no longer. See what I'm saying?
Oh, okay, I get it.
Strength indicators, they're very accurate, but they're very wrong. So this already happened. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
The strongest and this is the weakest as of this millisecond. But that's not enough. I don't know if I'm saying that in the best way, but there's amazing cool tools, but most of them don't compare to just simplicity. Like I can take almost everything off my charts except for my buy sell lines, my ADX, my 50 moving average, and my money tree string. I could maybe put like the little arrow or something for confirmation. I don't need anything else.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. The simpler we can keep our charts, guys, the more success we're going to have. Like, we can put tons of fancy, cool stuff on there. Most of us have access to free versions and a lot of versions, but the truth is, I can bust out a chart with just my buy-sell lines, just my 50, my big arrow, little arrow. I can pick one or two oscillators that suit me best and trade only that, ignore every single thing else. Because honestly, even myself, the more I look at everything else, the more I get tripped up and I lose what I'm doing. So at least that's me.
Jenny, I have a question.
Hey, Michelle.
Yes.
Hey, girl. How's it
Quickly,
going?
good. I keep missing the moves. The system is great, but every time I look, the move has passed. I've asked you about alerts. Does the support and resistance have alerts, or they don't because they move?
Pat is currently working on a dashboard for that as we speak, number one. But what time frame are you trading on that you're missing the move?
The H4.
Unless you moved to Asia and took a really long vacation, there's no reason why you missed this move from the 16th to the 8th or 9th. So you didn't miss this move. Does that make sense? Like this move happened whether or not. So just because you missed this spot, you could get back in. So let's draw a line. Let's say you saw this and it wasn't ready, or maybe you didn't take it or you weren't sure, right?
Yeah.
This move happened every day for like 3 weeks. So using the 4 hour, it'd be really hard to miss a move. So you can, just drawing that one thing, check this out. You can use the 4 hour for confirmation, and then, let's see. Oh, I'm sorry, my chart's just going crazy. Okay, so you have the confirmation, right? And then you had triple arrows appear back up. You can see that it rejected off the 50 or whatever oscillators you choose to use. Then you also have new buy sell lines, right? Do you see those, that support and resistance?
Yeah.
So you could have rolled that down. And then you could have got back in here, 50 pips, here, 50 pips, or stayed in as long as you wanted, however your trading plan works. Like, you can't miss the, if you're trading on the 4 hour time frame, unless you went like on a cruise or we're in Bora Bora and the Wi-Fi was awful.
The problem is so many pairs. I didn't even think to look at that. I'm looking at the pairs and like, oh, I missed the move. So you just gave me clarity that you don't have to get there when it first starts. I was always taught if you don't get there when it first starts, don't come in the middle. But I guess because it's 4 hours, you can do that.
Well, think about it like this. Like, everyone wants to time a top, but the problem with trying to time a top is, let's just use what's on our screen. Again, I'm all about using not perfect moments, okay? So let's assume this was a top. Uh-oh, it kept growing. This is going to be the top. Uh-oh, it kept going. This was going to be the top. Oh, it's still, like, we can't time a top. There's no way to do that, right? This confirmed move, this is my best entry. This is the one I'm going to do 10% on, or I'm going to go heavy on. Not this one. Do you understand why? Because this happened, it broke my 50, it rejected, and it kind of came back to retest. This is a confirmed move. This is a confirmed trend change. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, because it's on the pullback.
Money is made at the retest. So like, write that down, tape it on your wall. Money is made at the retest. Like, yeah, I learned that when I was on IML, but everyone wants to catch this move. That's not where money is made. Money is made on the retest or the pullback. So you can get in this move. Again, we're only using what's on our chart here. You can get in this move here. You would have got enough. Here, you would have got enough. Here, 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 all the way across. And then you got your big arrows, right? So you can get in this move. This is, I don't know, this is probably 2 months worth of being able to get in this move. So first it happened, well, no, this is the 1 hour chart. So that's the 18th to the 18th. Yeah, that's a, do you understand?
So basically, you can get in the move until you see the 3 arrows again. Sounds like.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the big arrows. I kind of missed these, so in all fairness, but still, like, you took this move. You took this move. This one had the big arrow, and it kind of, you know that this is going down. You took this move. You can take all of those moves, every one of them, and this works on every pair. I mean, you can pick 3 pairs that you want to study, that you want to, like, your 3 bread and butter pairs that you know what they're doing at all times because they're like your favorite pairs. Does that make sense?
Yes, and thank you so much.
You're welcome. Like, I promise you, when you do that, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, wow. I promise. Barry, do you have a question?
Hey, Jeannie.
Hey, John, how's it going?
And great. Listen, could you look at CJ just for a second?
CJ, let's see.
I'm not in that pair, but you've got the I'm on the
what
4 hour
time
chart.
frame?
I'm on
Okay.
4 hour. And
there we go.
So you got your triple arrows down there at the bottom.
No, we don't.
Well, on the 8th of May.
Okay, let's see.
On the 8th of May.
Here?
Yeah, the 8th of May, you got your triple arrows, and then you cross the 50. All right, and then it continued to go up, and now.
Yeah, I want to see what you see. So let me honor you real quick. On the 8th of May is back here.
I'm on the 4-hour chart.
Me too. Pretty sure. Are you? Am I on CAD JPY? Am I on the wrong pair?
Oh, I'm sorry. CHF JPY. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. That's why I wanted to make sure. There we go. That makes more sense. Okay. So you have your triple arrows here.
Right. Yes, ma'am. And you cross the 50.
Okay. This looks good. This looks good.
Right.
Volume is increasing. Go ahead.
So you go up and then you get back across the 50. All right. At that point right there, is that telling you to get out?
That's the sticky point. So that's a really wise question. It definitely tells me where you're at in your trading journey. That's a really good question. So this kind of situation is when you're going to want to really decide who you are as a trader. So, and that's the very short and honest answer. What we see here is we have a doji, a hammer, whatever we want to call this, with 1,000 different names and titles. With a wick to the downside, that's the hammer. We have one up, and now we have an engulfing candle, right? We have our little buy sell dot. It's only one. We have what appears to be a assumed crossover. So if I saw this, actually, I just did see this. I saw this live on this call, right? When I first saw this, the first thing I did was I clicked down to the 1 hour time frame. I wanted to see what the 1 hour time frame was doing. And again, my big arrow was telling me to buy. I'm on the 4 hour, so I don't care about this happening. That's over, right? That's done. But I know that this is going up. So we are making higher highs, right? And I think that I measured this. I don't know why my tool's being all weird when I try to do just this one. Whatever. So this was like literally probably the perfect 60. It's really weird. Okay, but that's probably that perfect. It's not, my mouse won't even let me go there. So, and I'm not like an expert at drawing fibs. I can do it really well on TradingView, but not so much on this platform. So I'm not going to pretend to do that again because it just doesn't work very well on this. But either way, this is a nice retracement, okay? So if this is about 100% of the move, how much of the move does this look like it is?
Maybe
Half?
20, 25.
No, that's gotta be at least half. So watch, this came up.
From there, yeah.
200 pips, and now it came back, so about 125 pips. So yeah, it's a 61.8.
Okay.
So my eyes can see it, even if I can't draw it. My eyes can see it. They've kind of been trained to see it pretty well. I'm kind of a numbers girl, so I like the concept of Fibonacci ratios. Although I don't really trade them in practice, my eyes can see that. So
Yes.
this is a confirmed trend change. We have CHF is stronger, JPY is weaker. Again, this is by the minute, so take it with a grain of salt. There's no guarantees in Forex. Having said that, I like how it broke the 50. Okay, retest, it came below, broke it. We call this like a breakout move, right? And it came back to kind of fake out. So, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. What I'd like to see is this make a bullish engulfing move. I would go extremely heavy on my live account when it breaks this 50. Okay. So when it confirms and goes above the 50 on the 1 hour, again, I dropped down to the 1 hour when I did this. That's what I was waiting to see. Right. I want to see it break the 50. At the time, so this was a crossover. This crossover, it looks really ugly now, but this was aiming up when I placed that buy. It was aiming up. Right. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. The odds are it's going to come down 50% of that engulfing candle. It happens consistently in Forex, not 100% of the time, but I'm not super worried, at least not right now. I mean, it could definitely touch this and then continue down. There's no way to know, but I'm anticipating this to go up, personally.
Okay. I was wondering about that because, like the last caller, I think where I'm struggling a little bit is where I have struggled in the past is seeing the weather change arrow and getting excited and getting in too soon. And what I need to do is just be patient, like y'all said, wait for a 50 and then buy or sell. And so when I saw that retracement there across the 50, I thought, and I saw that green dot, I'm wondering, hey, do I wait until it breaks the 50 again and then buy? That's the more conservative, safer trade. Am I thinking that correctly?
Yeah, so there's many trading styles, but if I'm going to discuss them on a live call that I'm going to be, held accountable for, to me, there's two entries, right? You have your super fast entry where you have enough kind of confirmation. One of the guys on the call, he was using overbought and oversold, which technically it's going to work. It's going to work for you, and it's going to work so well that you're going to be mind blown. But the problem is there's going to come times when it doesn't work too frequently, and you're going to blow a big account, and it's going to break your little heart. It broke mine a lot. So having said that, your first entry is this, oh no, I'm super excited, everything lines up. This has a smaller stop loss, right, because you entered in faster.
Yes,
so
ma'am.
In one aspect, it might be the more conservative entry depending on what your trading style is. So if a tighter stop loss makes it more conservative to you, that's actually the more conservative entry. To me, the more responsible or trend confirmed entry is when it breaks the 50. Like Jenny didn't come up with a 50 moving average. I would love to be the bajillionaire that did, but the reason why I like the 50 in general is because the banks trade with the 50. They trade with the 50, the 200, the 100, and then the reason why is because like the 50 on the, hold on, let me see if I can say this right. The 50 on the one, or I'm going to mess it up. I'm not even going to go there. So, but on different time frames, like so the 200 on the 1 hour. No, Mom was on the call. Sorry, my youngest son tried to tickle me. One second, guys. Yes, young man. Give me just one moment, okay? Mom's almost done. To the moon, I do. Sorry, guys.
No, you family first.
Oh, yeah. He's adorable. He's really loving, so I'm proud of that. But okay, so this is one fast entry, and it's not a bad thing. But the problem is the times that it resets. The problem is the times that like RSI would have told you this is overbought or oversold here, and it would have told you it's oversold here. And when you get confident in your trades are no longer 10 cents. Your trades are 10 standards, and 10 standards on 100 pips is enough to blow a six-figure account.
Right, and I want to get to that point, and I don't want to blow it. So
okay.
I want to be, I want to be taking the right trades at the right time. And what I've done, of course, I'm still in demo, but what I've done is I've tried to jump in early, and it's worked out for me some. But then, like you said, the big arrow will repaint, and it'll go backwards on me, and I'll lose a few. So,
and that's not necessarily bad. Like for a small amount of pips, and this is not a fast mover. It's not a GBP pair, so this is not a skewed number. It's still very possible to have success if you're going for a small amount of pips. But here's the deal: your accuracy ratio with any faster entry, with any predictive entry, with any overbought or oversold entry, your faster entry is going to have a lower accuracy ratio. And again, I'm no trading genius, but I'm really good at kind of figuring out all that weird information. So in terms of my own personal trading history, and I'm really good at tracking numbers, these entries for me are approximately 20% less accurate. And 20% inaccuracy is enough to literally take that baby account, from a couple $100 to literally six figures in a month, guys. When I say that's possible, I mean it with everything in me. That is literally possible. But it becomes a lot less possible when you lose, you're losing about 30 to 40% of your trades. I mean, it is still possible, but it's less likely. So this entry where it kind of broke the 50 and retested, and again, you still have all your confirmations. You still want your confirmations. Like you're still looking for everything to line up. If you choose this, if you chose your mate, like you chose where you wanted to live in life, if you just find 10 trades a week, just 10, some people are trading like 70, 80 trades a week. And then they wonder why they'll make 1,000, lose 1,000, make 1,000, lose 1,000, and they can't figure out what's wrong. It's because they're jumping in everything they see. They're not quite sure what they see. And they're just taking these entries for no good reason. But if you just get 10 trades and you did them all 20 pips or half of the ADR, that's enough. That I promise you, 5-10 trades a week is enough. 10-20 trades a week, depending on your proficiency level, it is enough. So take the slower trade, because on this right here, you don't have any. Again, let's pretend like we can't see anything past this, and we're only looking at this because it's on the screen. And I try not to show perfect examples. So when we see this, pretend like we can't see this big candle. As of right now, there's no proof that price is turning around. As of right now, this could very well be a flag just to drop, right? You don't have any solid concrete evidence because it flagged here and it dropped. It flagged up there and it dropped. It flagged it-ish, flagged-ish. So this could very well just be a flag and drop. We want an engulfing momentum candle. Like that should be one of your confirmations. We want, obviously, whatever oscillators your eyes see better, we want those to line up. There's so many that you guys got to pick your favorite 2 or 3 and just stick with those. And then, of course, we have more confirmation now. We have the 4 hours, then we have another 4 hours. Our money line turned green. Now we're looking like something could happen, but everyone's so hungry right here, they jump in. But a lot of times, price can come to the 50 and then reject.
Right.
So there's no guarantee. We want it to break the 50, close above the 50, retest it. I mean, you want the safest entry? That's the safest entry. And yes, your stop loss is going to be a bit bigger, but the odds of hitting that bigger stop loss also gives that market room to breathe. And we know that the market makers try to grab your stop loss anyhow. So
yeah,
way.
exactly. I'm what you're saying, and I built my ADX tonight. I have not used that, so I'm gonna give that a shot and see what that does for me. I think I think I like what you're saying there about the 50 and letting it retest. I think that's the safer. You may not make as many pips. I used your strategy this morning to grab some pips where you were talking about grab 20 and then set 2 trades and let 1 run.
Yes, sir.
And that worked out really well for me. So I got a good entry. But I think that's my biggest thing right now. My hurdle to get over is just picking the right entry.
But don't overthink it. Like don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. There are some people who literally go for they have a full-time job, they're very successful, and they go for 10 pips a week. So they kind of just, this is their hobby. They check the chart, for an hour some evenings. They find one trade for 10 pips and they go pretty heavy on it, in all fairness. But that grows their money, their account enough to buy a boat, to buy an extra house or whatever, right? So you don't need this extra couple of pips. So this is an extra 30 pips is not worth risking to lose more often when this was still plenty of a move.
Right.
That's still plenty. And if you had a trailing stop, or maybe you went for half of the average daily ADR, and then you had a trailing stop on that last entry, or at least you moved your stop into profit. I mean, bare minimum, protect your money. This is a lot. Then this is one trade, guys, one trade. And it's not even like a great pair. This isn't unusual or impossible.
Right. I listened to one of your archived videos where you were talking about ADR, and a friend of mine, he and I got into this together at the same time, and we went and tested that on a bunch of pairs, and it's uncanny how accurate that ADR is.
It's crazy. I actually, a gentleman in the group, Andre, he gave this to me. I saw one of his charts and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that. Because before that, I used a website, investing.com. So I'd have to go to the website and I type in like 12 weeks and I type in like 2 weeks to get how much that pair had been moving for that, period of time. So this being on the chart, again, I can show you some really fancy stuff. Pat can show you some fancy stuff. I'm sure any of us who have been trading longer than a year can show you some stuff that makes this look like a rocket ship. But I promise you, my simplest chart is just picking the oscillator that works best with the strategy, I love the buy sell lines. I love my money tree string. I find it to be really accurate. A 50 moving average, or you can use the 50 RSI depending on what your eyes see better. I kind of like this better personally, but you can choose anything that confirms trend, and pick an arrow or two. Pick some kind of predictive arrow such as these. And I promise you, like, you don't need like a whole plethora of all these bells and whistles. Keep it simple and you won't like lose your mind.
Right.
So,
all right. I appreciate it, Jeannie.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, go ahead.
Oh. No, I was just, if it takes too long, it's okay, or just you can reference a video. Pat keeps talking about the 224466 that you use, and I'm like, what is that? Is there a video in the archives about 224466? What does he mean by that?
Okay, so I think that there is a video, but I think it's like super crazy because I didn't know how to make the video. So it starts at 2:05, if I'm not mistaken. I may be wrong. But essentially all we would do is, like, this is a demo account, so I don't mind doing this. So let's say we wanted to take this entry, okay? So what I would do, I'm gonna pull this up. Let's make this a little smaller so I don't like super over leverage this, 0.5. So let's say we're gonna buy it. We're gonna buy it once, twice, 3, 4 times. And I got really good at this. But again, I'm a more advanced trader in all fairness. So having said that, these are my 4 entries at the same time. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the first one, I'm going to modify it. Well, let me measure where my stop loss would be, actually. My stop loss would be the same on all of them. So let's just say 32, 33 pips. So I'd modify it. I'm going to show you this, but I'm going to tell you that there's probably a better way. So maybe it would be better just to take 2 entries. I think that's more manageable for most newbies. But so on this trade, I'm going to go for 10. Oh, I messed up. I'm sorry. But on my heaviest lot size, I go for the less amount of pips. So my first entry, I would do like double or triple the lot size. And that trade is going to close out at 22 pips. Okay. On that one, I use a trailing stop of, and I kind of like random numbers, so you can do your own thing, but this works for me. So essentially, I use a trailing stop that's just slightly smaller than my take profit. In case price comes up real close and doesn't touch it and reverses, I want to keep those pips, right? Like, so if I'm out of the country or if I'm not home, that's the purpose of that. On my next order, I was doing 44. And I do have a reason for these weird numbers. Partly I like random numbers, but the other reason is, so on this one, I'm going to do a 33 pip trailing stop. So if price comes up only 40 pips and then it turns around, then I'll still close out in profit. But the reason why I chose these is because on any one of these pairs, it's really easy to get 20 pips. 20 pips is like, it's almost impossible not to get 20 pips if you actually had a really good analysis. The reason why I chose 44 was because when Pat said he designed the triple arrows, it was designed in a way that it's predicting a reversal of at least 40 pips. Are you with me so far?
Yes.
Okay. So what I did was I created the 44 because, again, there's a spread and stuff, but it's close enough that would hit, again, most of the time. The reason why I have 77 on there is because when I back tested amongst many pairs, I got really good at that. Any one of these pairs I find on the 4-hour or 1 hour, even the ones that are really small moves, they go at least 80, 90 pips. So for me to get 70 pips was very achievable, right? So this one, and my last entry, I did not set a take profit at all. I just let it run. So no take profit set on that. I just let it run, right? So now I'd have 4 entries. The max I would risk per pair is 7%. So like my first trade would be 4%. Then my next 3 would be 1%, 1%, 1%. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason behind that is because you can see that if the market reverses, I'm going to be safe. That's the idea. I'm going to be safe. That And again, I didn't measure this out, but as you can see, it kind of follows suit with some of the support and resistance. So 20 pips I chose because any one of these moves, catching 20 pips is easy if it was confirmed. 40 pips I chose because on one of the trainings Pat did, he said that the big arrow was made to get at least 40 pips of a reversal. So, and then I chose 70 because even on the pairs that don't have a super high ADR, it was really easy. And then of course I had a runner. But now that I answered your question, I will tell you, you're probably better off just sticking with 2 entries until you're a more proficient trader, 2, maybe 3 at the most. Have one of them set for like 20 or 30 pips or half of the average daily range, okay? And then have one of them as a runner. And you can still put a trailing stop on both. And you can do that, depending on how you want to. But my whole concept in trading is to protect my money first, make more money later. So I always move my stop into profit. I always, always, always have a trailing stop of some kind. I'm okay, like with this move right here, I'm okay with, okay, so I got in, price went against me a little bit, but then it went for me. So then this is not a fast mover. I'm okay with my pip trades closing out with just 5 or 6 pips or whatever if I move my stop into profit, right? Rather than hit my stop loss. I don't want my stop loss hit, so I don't want my stop loss hit. It's okay if it hits my stop loss because my analysis was wrong, and it's okay if it hits my stop loss because the market went against me or there was news. I'm okay with that. But I feel like it's a really foolish thing to do, talking about myself, to give up pips that I just made. So I just made this many pips. And again, on 10 standards, this is a lot of money, guys. And then to say I don't care about it I think it's just stupid. I think that would make me very stupid to not move my stop into profit. Because worst case scenario, I can get back in here. Worst case scenario, we have new buy sell lines, new arrows, money tree string, broke the 50, retested the 50, retested it again. We have huge momentum to the upside. We're breaking the MACD. So I've got enough confirmation to get back in. But I don't want to give up the money that I did make because we're trying to hold it for these big moves. But what's the point in holding it for the big moves if it's costing us money? I mean, would you give back half of your paycheck? I don't know how to say this in a way that's going to like be super meaningful and stick, because that's all I did. Was the reason I have it set that way is because it protects every single move the market makes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But maybe for now, just stick with 2. Just go for 20 or 30 pips or half the average daily range, and then leave 1 runner. Always moving your stop into profit or having a trailing stop. Again, worst case scenario, you can get back in. But that means you would have made money twice versus, potentially losing it and then having to make money. So yeah. All right, guys, any other questions?
Jenny.
Hey, Don.
Do you add to winning trades? And if you do, how do you do it? Or do you just peel off of your winning trades? You front load and you peel off?
Again, I was doing the stacking method. I'm very good at that. But if I add to a winning trade, I add here. I add here. I add like at the new confirmation, right? That's where I would add. I am peeling off somewhat, but again, I don't know. I'm learning to close part of my trade, and I have a trade manager that closes part of my trade too. But at the end of the day, I want to see it hit my take profit, or I move my stop into profit. But my trading calculators kind of work better, like my spreadsheets, when I'm more consistent. So I would prefer not to scale down personally. Like I don't like that method for me. So I'll scale into a trade. So like for instance, since we're on a live call and this is a demo account and I want to play with it, I would check this trade out on my live account. Once it breaks this, odds it'll come back and retest. And if it doesn't, it's going to continue down, and I'm okay with that. But I'll scale in at any one of these. I'll scale in when it tests the 50, so I don't even need this. I'll scale in when it tests the 50 and I have some other confirmations. So like take this moment right here. It's kind of ugly right now, but just to give you an idea, when this happened, might not be the best example, but we're going to go with it. So Let's see. So let's say we saw this somewhere in this time frame, because I drew the line. I got to live with it. I would have seen the ADX kind of going up, my green going up. It retested the 50, and I've got a yellow arrow. I would scale into this trade more, yes. I would scale in when it retests the 50 and failed to break it. I mean, this is a better one. So that retest of the 50 is kind of big to me. This doesn't look so pretty right there. I get it. It looks more confirmed. Let's see. Over here, because we have a crossover. Up, up. It retests the 50, and then, of course, my money tree line turned green. I would rescale into this trade. But when I rescale in, it's only for 20 pips. It's only for 20 pips or like half or 25% of the average daily range, depending on how big of a move it made. So if I'm scaling in on any one of the strategies I use, it's for a lesser amount of pips. Because my good entry is down here. I'm going to keep that open. But if I scale in, it's only for a handful of pips. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, guys, I'm not going to ask if there's any more questions. I get to blow my nose with this little head cold. But we will be on tomorrow night, and I will remake the video for the spreadsheet doohickeys. So, yeah, but thank you guys all for coming on and sticking around and hanging out with me for a few hours. And I hope that I was able to kind of help a little bit. And I hope you guys have a fantastic night.
Thank you, Jenny. You did a great job.
Thank you. Sweet dreams, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you.